Okay, now let's talk about how to maximize this program. Number one, we want to teach you how to read properly. We want to teach you how to read so you can apply this information compared to what I call reading for enjoyment. The majority of people out there, I don't care what age they are, they read for an enjoyment. This is what I mean. After they read the particular book or whatever they're reading, they really don't know what they just learned. They can grasp what they were talking about, but can they access it 6 months from now? Can they access it a year from now? Can they really remember what they read a book, in the past? Can they draw from it? They might be able to know the general concept of the book, but do they know what was actually in it? And see, what we want to do is we want to give you the best ability to succeed. And in order to do that, we want to teach you the best way to read a book so you get the most out of it, so you can recall it a year from now, 2 years from now, so you can use this every single day. Let me give you an example. As you read the book, what we suggest you do is get a highlighter or get a pen, and I'm going to show you, if you turn to all these pages in my book, and this is just a particular book, I went through, and as I read, when I read something and it sticks out in my mind that it can help me or is a good thought, I either highlight it or I just draw a line in the beginning of the sentence all the way to, if it's a paragraph, I draw another line. Or if it's really good, I might put a star or a couple stars, and I just go through that chapter as I'm reading it, and I'm just making marks and I'm highlighting stuff, the best parts of it. That's what our instructors do. That's how we put together our instructor notes for you. But we want you to do it yourself, because what that does, when you do it yourself, it's activating your mind. It's getting your mind focused on particular parts of that book, and it just lends into you learning this kinesthetically, which means physically. So that's how we want you to read the book. It doesn't take any more time, but I'm telling you, you're going to find that when you do it that way, you're just going to learn more. So after you go through, let's say we're just working on chapter 1 right now. You go through chapter 1, you read it, you're marking up the book, all the different aspects of the book. After you're done chapter 1, just go back and just read the highlighted parts. If the chapter is 30 pages long, it doesn't take that long to read just the parts that you marked and you put highlights and everything. Read them, because now what that does is it allows your mind to focus on the most important information, and it just compounds it. Remember, repetition is the mother of all skills. So then you pull it out. So now that you've done that, now you go on to the next aspect of the program. You want to go ahead and listen to those audios. Listen to them over and over again. You don't have to listen to them all at one time. If you have a 20-minute one or a 55-minute one, you don't have to listen to it in 55 minutes. That might be, like, for the attention spans on some of the individuals, especially some of the younger kids, that might be a little too much. Just listen to it for 10 minutes. Listen to it for 15 minutes. Listen to it in small blocks. If you're going to spend 30 minutes a day, you don't have to spend 30 minutes all at one time. You can spend 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, 10 minutes at night, however you want to break it up. But when you're listening to those audios, do it over and over again. You have a whole week to do one chapter. One chapter in some books might be 30 pages. In other books, it might be 15 pages. It's different for every book. So you're giving yourself enough time to listen to that material, because at the end of the week, I'm telling you, your child is going to really grasp some of this information. They're not going to know everything, but they're going to have the ability to get a lot of this information and really get it ingrained. And then you have the instructor notes. Make sure that your child is going through these instructor notes and reading it. So for example, they read chapter 1, they marked it up. Then they go back and they read chapter 1 as far as what they were highlighting in the book. It doesn't take that long to do that. And then after they listen to some audios, then have them go to some instructor notes and read the instructor notes. It's a cliff version. If the chapter's 30 pages, it's not nearly going to be 30 pages. But when they read through our notes, they might see some important things that they didn't highlight. Because understand this, when your child reads the book, they're at a different mental level than our instructors. They're going to probably miss a lot of things that they probably should have marked down. And our instructor notes allow them to pull out information that maybe they didn't see or maybe they didn't recognize that's important. And then they can read our perspectives on our staffs, on our experiences, and kind of open their mind up. Because a lot of times, people learn from other people. Usually if you're in your cocoon, your own little cocoon trying to do this yourself, you're only going to learn from what you have in your mind and your perspective as maybe a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, or a 15-year-old. But when you learn from someone maybe that's older with more experience, you'll be able to gain more information and more knowledge of individuals that have already been down the road and already applying this information. So you read the chapter, you mark it up, you listen to some audios, you go through the instructor notes. As you go through the notes, if you want to add anything in there yourself, you can feel free to write in there. And then the videos, when you watch the videos, have a little notepad out. Take your notes out from the instructor notes. Turn them to the back. When you're watching that video, put the topic of the video on there, what you're watching, and as that video goes, if there's anything in there, you can stop the video, take some notes. So when you go to your instructor notes, when you turn to the back of the pages, you're going to have also notes on the videos that were sent to you through that 36-week program. So I'm telling you, this engages all the different aspects of learning, and we're taking this seriously as we want to develop our mental training and mental toughness. And that's what it comes down to. You as a child, do you really want to enjoy the sport even that much more? I mean, isn't it frustrating when you're in a slump? It seems like you can't hit the baseball, nothing's going right. I mean, that's probably one of the most frustrating things. And mental training is something that will help you deal with that so you don't get into those slumps, when you don't get into those lows, when the game just isn't fun anymore. And we never want to get to that point. We want your child, to enjoy this game as much as possible, but we want you to take this seriously, because at the end of the day, you and your child are investing in yourselves. Your child's investing in themselves. So why does it make any sense to spend 30 minutes and just do it halfway and not give it your best? Because I know when you go into a batting cage and you're spending money to go into your batting cage, your child is doing their best for 30 minutes, and that needs to be the same way that they approach this program. That's how we approach this program as instructors, and to get the most out of this and to get the most development mentally, you've got to put in the time and just give it your best, whether it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes, and sometimes even more. I know times I said I'm going to read for 30 minutes, I look up the clock, next thing I know it's 45 minutes, and I can't put the book down. And I think that's what's going to happen to your young athletes, to your children at some point in their career. So that's how you maximize this program. I hope some of this information helped out. If you have any questions, just contact our staff, very simple, and we're getting in contact with instructors, and they'll give you all the information on how you can do that. Have a great day.